Howdy friends, welcome back to the show. I'm Tim. Today we're heading out to a customer's house that gave us a call stating they had a high water bill, and what they're used to paying at $45 a month is gone up over $200 on a regular basis. So we got to go out and we got to troubleshoot and find out why this bill is so high. Let's go. The company I work for, we get a great deal of these high water bill calls. We roll out to customers' houses, and over 50% of the time, it turns out they have an under the slab water leak. So we're here at the customer's house. We're going to do the basic troubleshooting, such as checking the water meter, see if it's moving, check the toilets, see if those are running, all the smoking guns. And if those all play out where they're not a problem, we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to start off with water meter. This is a double meter box, one for a customer, one for the neighbor. We're going to take a look, and I've told the customer not to run any water in the house. And let's see if it's running or not. The meter 0.25, so it is moving. All right, time to go inside. Before we do that though, we're going to cut the water main off at the house and then go back over to the meter and see if it's still running or not. This way we can make it, see if there's a leak out here between the meter and the house. Okay, so the meter did stop running as soon as I turned off the valve at the house. Now it's time for me to go in the house. So we've kind of ruled out that there's a leak between the meter and the house. There's a couple of dogs that are locked up in a room and they're barking, so it might be a little loud, but I want to take a look at these toilets and see if any of them are running. Okay, so we checked both toilets inside of the house and they don't seem to be running. The water meter is running at 0.025 on a rate, and that means it's probably about a gallon of water being lost maybe every 5 to 10 minutes. I guess the next thing we need to do is start thinking about whether there's an under the slab leak, and I'm going to go to where the water heater is located and turn that valve off and see if that stops the meter from running. Yikes, that valve looks old and not to be trusted. All right, so I turned the water off to the water heater and we came back out here to the meter and it's still running. So we have more of an issue than I thought. I might ask, Tim, what's the difference whether it's a hot water leak or cold water leak? Hundreds of dollars, because if indeed it is a hot water leak, I would take my heat gun and locate where that hot spot was on the floor, and then we could go ahead and make the repair. But because it's not, the heat gun won't do any good. Now they're going to end up having to get leak detection out here. It's not a very big leak, but it's causing their water bill go from $45 up to over $200. I'm going to demonstrate to you how much water is being lost. Somewhere in a pipe underneath the house. It's running about that much. See, back to the water meter after we've done our tests in the house and stuff. See that? That's a steady leak going on. Even after testing the toilets as well as the water heater, all that stuff, the spigots outside, steady leak. Now when you come out to one of these calls, you have to be pretty accurate with your information, because that's the difference between a few $100s or maybe $1,000 in making the repair. You saw little steps I made. First and foremost, a single toilet, like you've heard me say before, running can double your water bill. That was the first thing we took a look at, was both the toilets. Those are fine. We tested between the meter and the house, and the meter kept on running even with the valve off to the house. We shut off the water heater, took a look at that, and the meter was still running. So it was a cold water leak that's happening somewhere underneath the house. At this point, we've got to get leak detection in here. Did you guys catch that quick little clip of me being out back and panning around and showed you that they were having a new in-ground pool installed? I wanted to investigate that to make sure there was nobody that had left a hose running and walked away from it, because this also can cause a high water bill and nobody knows about it until it's too late. Another common area for water leaks can be right where the water leaves the meter. And you can tell this has been damaged like a lawnmower ran over. And a lot of times that happens, they'll break the nipple off right there. But we dug this up already. Check, that's all dry. Now, this particular method that you saw me do today to discover that the customer had an under the slab water leak does not apply to those of you that have well water systems in your home. We'll explain that in another video. Hey, that's all the time we got this one. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching. There's a process when it comes to trying to diagnose a high water bill at a customer's house, and you have to be pretty thorough when it comes to this process. And we've gone through all of that stuff, and the only thing that's telling me is he's got a water line underneath the home. The house is built in 1985, so it's not out of the question that that's happening. Thanks so much. You guys have a happy new year, and we'll see you on the next one. Keep plumbing.